When I was younger, I loved reading so much. I would read 2 or 3 books a week when I was in school, and over the summer, I could read a book a day. Every trip to the bookstore or to the library was a new adventure because I'd get to find something new and exciting. I really enjoyed picking up books with no knowledge about what the book was about. In 6th grade, I decided to read all of the Newbery Award winners and honorees that my library had. Because it won an award, I assumed that the book would be good. After reading a few Newbery winners, I picked up another one and took it home. I started reading it that night. Normally I would read a few chapters before going to bed. The next day when I got to school and we had quiet reading time, I couldn't remember anything I had read the night before. Clearly I hadn't been into the book when I started it, so I had to start over from the beginning. And I did. Later that night, I got home and picked up the book again, and still didn't really remember what I had read, so I had to start over a third time. This trend continued for a few days, where I would only remember about half of what I had read, but I kept chugging along and would reread whatever I needed to understand what was happening in the next chapter. That weekend, I didn't end up reading at all, which was really rare for me, but I just couldn't get into the book. I'm not exaggerating when I say I had this single book checked out for 6 weeks. And I'm not the type of person who can read multiple books at a time. So I went from reading 2 or 3 books a week to spending more than a month on this one book. It was an award-winning book. I was a voracious reader. This should have been an easy read. Clearly, something was wrong. I just wasn't enjoying this book. After being stuck on the same book for so long, my mom finally asked me why I was still reading it. I told her, because I love reading. And she said, you can love reading and not enjoy this book. It had never occurred to me that I could just quit reading it, that I didn't have to finish the book just because I started it. Why was I so stuck on a book that was bringing me no joy? If anything, it was bringing me the opposite, because I couldn't go read a book that I might enjoy. It's a weird feeling the first time you quit something that you love. I love reading. I just didn't love this book. Quitting that book didn't mean that I loved reading any less. Sometimes you just need to know when to put the book down. So I'm in grad school for biomedical health sciences. My day-to-day, I do biomedical research. I love science and I love research. The first time I did a protein assay, I got a correlation of 0.995. For those of you who aren't very scientific, that's pretty good, especially for a first try. That moment for me was monumental in my discovery of my love of research. Since then, I've done research in 4 different labs, and my love of research and science has never stopped growing. But I'm unhappy right now. I'm not enjoying my time. There have been far too many days where I dread going into lab for no reason at all and every reason all at the same time. I can still love science and not love what I'm doing right now. My love for science overall isn't decreased by my unhappiness with my current situation. But I've realized it's time to put the book down. If this truly isn't making me happy and is keeping me from doing things that might make me happy, there's no reason not to stop. There's other books to be read, other paths to be forged, other excitement to come. So I'm quitting. I'm leaving grad school. I'm still going to love science, but I'm putting down the parts that aren't making me happy anymore. My desire to move on is the same feeling I had the first time I stopped reading a book I didn't like. I didn't realize at first that I could stop, but once I did, it was the only choice I could make. I'm not happy right now, but I will be. There are more books to read. If you liked this video, I hope you consider subscribing. I post videos every Wednesday. You can check out my video from last week by clicking right here, or a playlist of all of my videos by clicking right here. You can also find me on all of my social media, links below, and I'll see you next week. Bye!